Hi, I'm Sarah and welcome to our intermediate mat Pilates class today. So we've come outside, the weather seems to be holding, so I thought I'd take advantage of the outside. It's always nicer to be outside than inside in my opinion. And today's class is going to focus an awful lot on spinal mobility. So what I'd say with that is we are going to do only things that we do in Pilates anyway. But with that strong focus on the spinal mobility, really try and tune in to what's comfortable for you. So if we come to the end of the range of the movement that's good for you and you feel like you've worked into a little bit of stiffness, muscle stiffness, but any further is going to cause pain or discomfort, we never work into those areas. We only ever work a little bit into stiffness bit by bit, nice and slowly, just to where you feel comfortable. We never push it. All right, so please be aware and just go to where you feel your limits are. All right. So let's take the feet to hip width apart stance. Let's take the toes out. Let's take the heels out to that hip width apart distance. And feel nice and evenly weighted through our 2 feet. All right. So the balance is nice and even between the two. Good. And we've got little tripods, mini tripods under each of those feet. Big toe, little toe and heel are our tripods or points of contact, and we just want to distribute the weight evenly through those points. And then feel nice and grounded through those heels. Feel really connected to the mat, to the floor. Good. We soften through the thighs into the knees a little bit, and then we tuck the tailbone under. We find that neutral spine, neutral pelvis. Lovely. And then we grow a little bit taller. So lengthen through the spine all the way up for the crown of the head. Lovely. And because we are going to attach a beautiful golden helium balloon today from the crown of the head, it means that our chin will be nicely parallel to the floor. And then we can bring our head back a little bit, which lengthens through the back of the neck as well. So just give yourselves the beginnings of a double chin. Hate to say it, just start that little bit of pulling the chin back, but keeping the chin parallel to the floor. Imagine you've got a big orange under there that you're just going to hold in place. Lovely. We widen through the collarbones, lengthening there, and taking our arms down by our sides. Good. We've got a little squeeze on at the shoulder blades, which opens into those collarbones that little bit more. Lovely. All right. So let's start with some nice breathing in through the nose, out through slightly pursed lips, just to get that feeling of control with your breath. So breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Good. And we're just breathing at your normal pace. There's nothing forced. It's not faster or slower than normal. You're just aware and tuning into that breathing. Good. And with Pilates, we want lateral breathing. So imagine those lungs. We want to fill them up. We want to fill them all the way down to the bottom as well and round the back. So your ribs are going all the way around here. We want to fill up all that space. So I'm going to pop my hands just very loosely around my rib cage at the bottom here. And as I breathe in, just feel your ribs press ever so slightly against your hands. And as you breathe out, they just contract away. So you keep your shoulders down. The breathing's not into the shoulders. It's not into the top of the chest. We're keeping everything nice and soft. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Really think about filling laterally those lungs, pushing those ribs out. Good. If you want to close your eyes for a moment, please do, just to help you tune in. Keeping those shoulders down, really being quite disciplined here and focusing on this lateral breathing. Lovely. Lovely. So if you haven't already, open your eyes, lengthen your arms down by your sides, keep that breathing going. A couple of nice breaths. Fabulous. Okay. Now we're going to tune into our pelvic floor. Best way I can describe this is to imagine a sling of muscles that's down at the bottom of your pubic bone. And it's obviously internal. Imagine a little internal elevator. And as we breathe out, we're going to pull that elevator up from the pubic bone all the way to the tummy button. And then control the release back down. Good. So breathing in to prepare. And as you breathe out, zip up. Pull up on the elevator, good, and then relax. Now the key to this, it's a bit of a strange one, is to relax the glutes. So keep that going, really try and focus on keeping the abdominals contracted, but also starting to pull up on that elevator. Good. But keep the glutes relaxed. Really tough, but that really is the key. It means we're really working these muscles efficiently. Good. Couple more, just tuning in, keeping relaxed through the shoulders. Well done. Good. We're now going to take the arms down by our sides, palms facing forwards. Let's take them out wide. Let's drop the hands behind the head, just very gentle here. Elbows just within my periphery. And then we're going to shrug the shoulders up, shrug them down, keeping that connection with the abdominals, lengthen the arms up and bring them back down. Wonderful. A couple more of these. Breathing out. Drop the hands behind the head. You want to then shrug up and shrug down, stretch up, stretch down. We're going to do one more of these, just loosening into the shoulders, keeping that connection with the abdominals so we don't take that connection away from the ribs and the hips. Lovely. Okay, so I'm going to take the arms wide one more time. I'm going to pop the hands behind the head. I can see my elbows out of the corner of my eye, and I'm not forcing the neck at all. I'm not forcing any pressure through the head with those hands. All right, so keep them there, keep those shoulders down, that connection in the abdominals. And we're just going to do a couple of roll downs, but it's just the start of roll downs. So I'm going to draw my elbows closer together and then tuck my chin to my chest and just soften between my shoulders a little bit. So I'm still keeping a neutral pelvis, and back up and curling that spine and taking the elbows back wide. Lovely. So take a breath in as you come up, and as you breathe out, we're going to bring the elbows together and soften through the spine. Just a little distance, just a little softening to where you feel comfortable. So I'm not putting any pressure on the back of my head. I'm not forcing it down. It's just a guide. Lovely. And what you can do is you can increase the roll down. Imagine you're peeling your spine off a wall, and we're going to increase just that little bit each time to where you feel comfortable. Good. Might feel some stiffness in that mid back, that lower back, so just start to ease into there nice and gently, but keep those abdominals pulled in. Lovely. Just going to do one more. Just waking up the spine, nice and easy. Keep those knees soft and pulling in on the tummy muscles as you come back up. Lovely. Keep the hands where they are. Let's take the feet ever so slightly wider. Keep those knees soft, abdominals in, and we're going to go into some side bends. So breathing out, over we go. Breathing in, pull up tall, use those side muscles, use those tummy muscles, over to the other side. Lovely. Again, we're just starting small, then we're going to build it up. So I'm not letting the hips push over to the opposite side as I go, and I'm really using those abdominal muscles and those waist muscles to help pull me up tall each time. Really nice work. So my knees are soft, abdominals are pulled in, and we've still got that connection between the ribs and the hips. Good. So by that I mean at the front, we're just keeping connected here. Good. Elbows are still in sight, shoulders are down. Good, we're going to go a little bit further. Okay, and this time, as I come over to the side, we're just going to take that top elbow, the one that's pointing up to the sky, and bring it down towards the opposite elbow and back up, back tall, over to the other side. That top elbow pointing up to the sky pushes down towards your opposite elbow, your opposite hip, and then up tall again. Couple more of these. Let's take it over. Couple more. and then keep it going. We're going to do something different when we come to the side this time. Both arms are going to extend out, keep that connection with the abdominals, bring the arms back in. It's quite a big stretch. Back up tall, lovely. Over to the other side. Hold it, support that side bend that you've got going on, using your abdominals, using your stabilizing muscles. Good. Extend. Lovely. And then we're going to add in a bit of neck rotation. So we're going to come over, extend the arms, and I'm going to look up to the top of my hand. Back in, back up tall, over to the other side. Lengthen the arms, look up to that top hand, bring them back in, over we go. Just 2 more. Lovely. Last one, back up tall, looking up, bring it in, and come up tall. Lovely. And bring your arms by your side. You're going to take the feet back to that hip distance apart width that we've got. Keep the knees soft. Check you're in neutral. Lovely. Shoulders down. Collarbones nice and wide into a little float. Good. And back down. So really controlling the breathing, thinking about that lateral breathing with our floats and that nice softness through the shoulders. Good. We're going to go a little bit further with our float each time we bring them up now. Breathing out, just that little bit further. Good. Breathing in as you come down. And it's a controlled lowering of the arms. Good. Shoulders are staying down all the time. Abdominals are pulled in. We're in neutral. Soft through the knees. Well done. And really important, as we take the arms up over the head, it's important we just think about keeping that connection between the abdominals. So think about ribs and hips staying attached with a piece of bungee. And we're not stretching that piece of bungee as we take the arms up. Good. And we're going to start to look up to the sky if you're comfortable as the arms float up. And bring them down. Good. As we stretch up, you can look up to the sky if you feel okay with that. That's a little bit more extension through the neck. Good, through the spine. And we're lifting the chest a bit as well. But keep the abdominals connected. Well done. All right, one more of these, just to where you feel comfortable. I'm not arching my lower back, lifting up, and we're going to go down into a full roll down. So, we're going to keep the knees soft. We're going to tuck the chin to the chest, let the hands slide down the front of the legs. Peel those vertebrae off our wall, and just go down to where you feel comfortable with this full roll down. So if it's just to where your hands are above your knees, that's fine. If they'll go all the way down to the floor, fabulous, well done. It's just to where you're okay with it. And we've all got different tightness through our hamstrings, which mean we can go different distances as well. And then bring the hands back up, pull in on those tummy buttons as you come back up tall, and open through the collarbones. Lovely, one more of those. So breathe in, and then breathe out as we come down. Knees soft. Release any tension at the bottom, let everything dangle, and then slide the hands back up. One more time, lovely. Okay, so from here, let's keep that nice neutral spine, neutral pelvis, the abdominals drawn in. We're going to extend one arm in front of us and then up towards the sky and let it come behind us like we're doing a little bit of backstroke. So let the ribs and the hips softly go with the movement so you get some nice rotation through the spine. And then back to center. So let's work the same side. Let's breathe out, take it in front and up to the sky, letting the hips and the ribs gently rotate round, and then back to center. 2 more, breathing out. Breathing in as you come back to center. Good. It's just very gentle, getting some rotation through the spine by letting the ribs and the hips go with, without letting that connection disappear. Good. Let's work the other side. So breathing out, take the arm up, gently behind, and back to center. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Nice. Last one. Well done. Wonderful. So now we're going to do a little bit of front crawl on the other arm. So take it and start the movement behind, opening up into the ribs and hips again, and over we come. Good. We've got 3 more of these. Breathing out, breathing in. Still got softness in the knees, and we're still using the abdominals. We're not letting anything slip. Good. Last one, I think, but I might have miscounted. Hopefully that's 4. Let's go around the other side. Start behind and bring it round to centre. Good. 3 more. Nice and gentle with that movement, just to where you feel comfortable. But please keep those abdominals drawn in. Well done. Last one. Round, up, and down by your side. Fabulous. So that's the end of the standing section that we're going to do. We're now going to come down onto our mats into an all fours position. So yeah, let's roll down nice and gently into an all fours position. I'm going to start at the far end of the mat and gently soften through the knees and walk out into this all fours position. Okay, so we're down in our all fours position with the hands under the shoulders, or just a little bit forwards of that if it's more comfortable. And the knees are under the hips. We've got shoulder width apart with the hands, and we've got hip width apart with the knees. And I'm feeling nice and evenly balanced between those points of contact on the mat. We want that length through the neck still, so we're going to look straight down at the mat so that we're lengthening through the neck at the back. Good. And we're going to pull up on the abdominals, draw them in, that 30%, number 3 on a 10 notch belt, and flatten off that lower back a little bit. I'm tucking my tailbone under. Good. So we want softness through the elbows. We never want to be locked out here. We always want that little bit of a softness through them. And then we're going to put a tiny squeeze at the shoulder blades, but imagine a hot flame under our chest that we're just going to have to draw away from. And that pushes us up, strengthens us through the shoulders. Nice strong position, but with soft elbows. Just remember that bit. Good. So we're just going to do some nice stretches again for the spine. So inhale to prepare, and as we exhale, we're going to tuck the tailbone under, arch the back up to the sky. Let your chin drop towards your chest if you're comfortable with that. Inhale at the top, and as we exhale, we're going to let the chest sink towards the mat, and if you're comfortable, you can stretch through the throat a little bit, just slightly, but keep those shoulders down. Good. Inhale here, exhale, back up into an arched spine. Good. Inhale at the top, exhale, sink the chest down towards the mat again. These are slow and controlled. Use that breathing pattern of exhaling as you move up and down, inhaling to pause at the top and bottom of the movement. We've all got different mobility with our spines, so be kind to them and just work to a range that's comfortable for you. Tune into what your spine is doing. Do you need to focus a bit more on tucking the tailbone under, maybe trying to get a little bit more lumbar mobility? I certainly have to do that. That's my focus. But I'm also trying to keep softness in the upper traps, so the shoulders down away from the ears, and that softness through the elbows. Good. And then let's find neutral. So between those two ranges, let's bring it nice and gently into that neutral position. Lovely. Been on the wrist for a while, so just take the pressure off the wrist for a moment into a little shell stretch, and you can just waggle your wrists to release any tension that's built up into there. Anytime you need to come off your wrists, please do so. All right, and just reset. Okay. So we're going to do a little bit of pelvic tilting, but not our usual pelvic tilting. I know, what sort of pelvic tilting can it be if not our usual type? So this time, still want to be pulling up on the abdominals and keep that weight evenly spread between those points of contact. But my tilting isn't going to be our usual forwards and backwards, up and down, as it would be in all fours. We're going to tilt the pelvis from neutral, left, so it's a little bottom wiggle, through centre, gently right. So I'm keeping my upper and middle spine nice and strong, relatively still, and we're just working very slowly into those hips, into the pelvis, tilting it very slowly left and right. So the left tilt brings it towards your left hand, right tilt brings it towards your right hand. Again, please pull in on the abdominals. Good, good. Keep a strong core. And those elbows nice and soft. All fours is not easy, I know, I do know. All right. If you're comfortable, we're going to increase the range. And so when we come and tilt the pelvis to the left next time, I'm going to look round towards that hip, getting that little bit more of a side bend going on down my right side. I'm going to come through centre, right hips tilting to the right, and I'm going to look round trying to look at my right hip, and then back through centre. Good, keep it going. Again, get some fluidity to the movement if you feel okay with it. And we're just slowly working into those spines a little bit more, getting some side bend movement going, but just to what's comfortable for you. Pulling on the abdominals, keep it going. We've got 2 more. Last one. Back to centre. Take it into a shell stretch again if you need to just release into those wrists. We've got a little bit more still to come. So I'm going to come up into my all fours again, reset, strong through the abdominals, check those lower backs are in position as well. So pull that tummy button up towards the spine, tuck that tailbone under. Imagine my champagne glass has to balance beautifully on my lower back, so that's what I'm always aiming at. All right. So let's do a little bit of work with the upper part of the spine into rotation. So I'm going to take all my weight onto my right arm, soft elbow, take my left hand, pop it behind my head, elbow out wide. From here, keep strong there, keep the lower part of the spine and the hips nice and level. We're going to take the left elbow, this elbow that's up in the air, down towards the right hand, and then back out. So we're going to breathe out as we touch towards the right hand. Breathe in as we come out. Good. We've got 1 more. Lovely. Take the hand down. Take the other hand, pop it behind your head. Elbow out nice and wide. Good. And keep that balance nice and even between those 3 points of contact. Soft elbow. Good. Off we go, breathing out. So I'm trying to keep the hips nice and level and just focus on the rotation happening really in the upper part of the spine. Think about sort of between the shoulder blades, that sort of area. We've got 2 more. Lovely, take the hand down. So we're going to now just do a little bit more of our traditional thread needle, but I want to have a really soft elbow on this standing arm, on this supporting arm, and we're going to take the other hand, pass it under, and thread it to the far side, but I'm going to allow a little bit more rotation than normal by bending this elbow a lot more than I usually do. Good. And back up. Let's do 3 more of those. So we breathe out, thread the needle under, bend that elbow on the arm that's supporting you. Good. 2 more. 1 more. And back up. Good. Other side. So start with it out wide, thread it under, and then we're going to bend that supporting elbow. Good. And back up. Lovely. Still pulling in on the abdominals. Well done. I'm letting the neck rotate with the movement. Got 1 more. Back up. Good. Take it into a little shell stretch. Fabulous. Okay, so a few little press-ups to finish us off in this position. So I'm going to allow my hands to be a little bit forwards of my shoulders for this, but I want to keep my hips over my knees, and they can come forwards for this, but they're not going to come behind the knees. So let's see. I'm going to pull in on the abdominals, keep the shoulders down, elbows soft. Breathe in to prepare. breathe out. We're going to glide forwards just a little bit and come down, keeping the elbows tucked in, and then come back up tall. Good. So as you breathe out, think about your head sort of gliding forwards a little bit, elbows staying tucked in and back up. So what I'm not doing when I come down is letting the hips go back. So I'm staying strong in the abdominals, almost letting the head come forwards a little bit. Good. I've got 3 more. Breathing out as you come down, breathing in as you come up. Good. I'm going to do 1 more because I did lose count. I know, how can I when it's such a small number? Lovely, good. And then take it back into a shell stretch. Release those wrists, well done. And we're going to come into prone lying position, front lying position. That's prone. So I'm going to use my little head block under my forehead and come down until we're straight lying. Good, okay. So in our front lying position, we're going to do swan dive thoracic. So let's think about the arms to begin with. So they can either be more into an E shape or the elbows a little bit lower into a W, but the hands nice and wide either side of the ears. Blocks just there so that with my forehead there I can breathe, really important, but also it helps me with that nice alignment through my neck, so I get that nice positioning. Good. Alright, chin's tucked in like I've got an orange under my chin still, and I'm going to rock through my hip bones left to right so that I can just start to find that neutral place where I'm nice and evenly balanced through those 2 hip bones. So find that centered point. Good. And then let's tuck the tailbone under, which pushes our pubic bone down into the mat. That's good. And then we want to bring Belgian chocolates back today. So it's a hot day, so I've got to be really careful. So I'm going to have a little strawberry soft fruit filled Belgian chocolate under my tummy button, and I'm just going to have to think about switching on those abdominals, getting that little bit of core connection going on, so that I don't totally squish it as I'm lying there. So everything's not hanging out and relaxed on the mat. We are active here. Good. Try and relax the glutes a little bit though. They will switch on, but let's just try and keep them as relaxed as we can here. Lovely. So even through the hip bones, pubic bones pushed down, abdominals working. Shoulders down away from the ears. We breathe in to prepare, we breathe out. Use those tummy buttons, use those spinal extensor muscles that run up and down the side of the spine to help lift the forehead and the shoulders, the chest, just away from the mat, keeping the chin tucked in. We breathe in at the top, we breathe out to come back down. Nice and controlled. Breathe in at the bottom. As we breathe out, we're using those abdominals and those back muscles to lift. Breathe in at the top. Breathe out to slowly lower. Good. So keep that pubic bone pushed into the mat. Keep those abdominals pulled in. Good. And really important, as we come up, that chin stays nodded in. What sometimes happens is we start to stretch through the neck a little bit and extend it. We want to keep it tucked in, so you're only ever looking down at the mat. And back down. Lovely. A few more of these. Breathing out as you come up. Hold it and pause. Breathe in at the top. Breathe out as you come back down. 2 more. Breathing out. Breathe in at the top. Breathe out to return. Last one. Breathing out as you come up. Breathe in to pause. Breathe out to come back down. Good. So we've used those back extensor muscles. I think 3 sets running up and down the side of the spine. So if you need to come into a shell stretch, just to release those and to feel a little bit more balanced, let's do that. And then back we come. Good. So we're going to do some little leg extensions. So upper body relaxed, be where you want to be with your arms, but be even through your hip bones, pubic bone pushed into the mat, glutes relaxed for the start, and tummy buttons pulled in and engaged. Good. So we're going to extend one leg away from us, so like somebody's pulling it. It's going to then be hovering off the mat because you've lengthened through the knee.
And you've activated it all with the glute. Good. Point those toes, a little bit of added elegance, and then softly return it back down. Good. So it's more of an extension, a lengthening of the leg than a lift. Other leg. Squeeze the glute, activate the muscles around the thighs, lengthen the leg away, and then return. So we're breathing out as we activate and lengthen. So the hips and the top of the thigh always stay on the mat. Good. And really important, because we're pushing that pubic bone into the mat, we want to feel like we're not rocking side to side through those hip bones. So you should feel that you're even and level. There was a spirit level across my lower back here. I'd want it to stay with the bubble in the middle all the time, so I'm not rocking left to right. Isolating these movements is what Pilates loves. Isolating individual movements. Working the little muscles. Good. Well done. Let's do a few more of these. Stay relaxed in the upper body and the shoulders, and still pulled in on the abdominals. Really easy to do this one without that connection in the abdominals, and we need that. Good. Got a few more of these. If I say a few more, I don't have to be accurate with my counting. That's my thinking. No, I'm only kidding. Okay. Last 4. Last 2. Lovely. Okay, from here we're going to add in opposite arm to opposite leg. So I'm going to start, if Suka doesn't mind, with both arms stretched out in front of me. Okay. Shoulders are still down away from the ears, even in this position. Okay. And what I'm going to do is extend my left arm and my right leg away. So it's an extension, a lengthening, and they're both going to hover off the mat and then back down. So as I breathe out, I want to use those abdominals and just lengthen the arm and the leg away on the diagonal. So again, I'm not lifting, I'm not arching into the lower back. So we're not putting any pressure onto that lower back that we don't need to. We're using the glutes, we're using the thigh muscles, the abdominals. Back muscles will be working a little bit. We're stabilising through the trunk of the body whilst being able to move opposite arms and opposite legs. No mean feat. Well done. So breathe out as you lengthen away. Again, hips and tops of thighs stay on the mat. Good. Little lift to the arm and the leg, but it's mostly a lengthening. Not arching that lower back if we don't have to. Good. Last 2. Well done. If you need to have a little shell stretch at this point to release your lower back, please do. Otherwise, you can just have a little rock side to side to release any tension. Lovely. Going to go into some shoulder squeezes. Still using the block under my forehead. I'm going to take our arms down by our sides, lengthen them down by our sides. Okay, so I still want to have that pubic bone in contact with the mat and feel even through the hips. And my Belgian chocolate, I hope it's still intact, hopefully it is. Keep it under those abdominals and draw that tummy button in towards the spine. Good. So nice and stable here. And then the focus is going to be on the shoulder blades. So what I'm going to do is lengthen my arms away so that my shoulders are down away from my ears to begin with. And as you breathe out, you're going to squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other, towards the spine, and send the pointy bits at the bottom of your shoulder blades into the back pockets of your trousers, towards your glutes. Good. So we're going to squeeze, which opens up, lifts the front of the shoulders away from the mat, and lengthen. And then we're going to take the arms with the movement. But it's all about the shoulder blades. So breathe out, squeeze and send the shoulder blades into the back pockets of your trousers, and then slowly lower with the in-breath. So we're breathing out, opening up through those collarbones, through those pecs. Good, and back down. All about the shoulder blade mobility. So it's sliding along those muscles that sit underneath the shoulder blade and on top of the ribs. And we're using the little muscles which attach from the bottom of the shoulder blade and pull those shoulder blades down away from our ears, which hopefully means the upper traps aren't going to be overworking. Good, lovely. Remember to keep your abdominals drawn in. Always something, isn't there? Well done. What you sometimes notice, sorry, we do want to be looking straight down at the mat, it's just me talking. What you sometimes notice is if you've got one shoulder blade that's maybe a little bit stronger than the other, you might start to notice that one isn't squeezing or coming away quite as much as the other. That's okay. We're going to work into that. We're going to try and even things up, strengthen those slightly weaker muscles if we can. Good. Remember to keep sending the shoulder blades down into the back pockets, which takes them away from your ears as well. Well done. Let's do the last two. Last one. And lower. Well done. Take your hands either side of your ears and then take yourself back into a little shell stretch to release into there. Leave your arms outstretched. Really nice shell stretch. Good. Wonderful. Into all fours, and then nice and slowly we're going to come onto our backs so that we're lying on our backs. Okay, going to use the little head block under my head again. Okay. So we're going to take the arms, stretch them out so that we're in a little T shape. Bring the feet and the knees together so the legs are glued together. And again, the block is giving me that nice alignment so that I can keep that chin in that position like I've got an orange under there. So into some knee rolls. Let's check we're in neutral. I could just about squidge a hand between my lower back and the mat, half a hand. Pulling on those abdominals. We're going to breathe in to prepare, and as we breathe out, we're just going to take the knees over to one side. Good. We're going to come through centre, making sure we roll across that lower back, across the top of the glutes, the sacrum, and then come over to the other side. Good. Breathe in as you come through centre. Breathe out as you come over. Again, all about the spine for this mobility. And you're just working to the range that feels okay for you. Okay, so you just take it to the point that you're happy with. My shoulders are staying down on the mat. And I'm really making sure that I'm pulling in on the abdominals, flattening that back onto the mat as I come through centre. So your shoulders stay down. We're just keeping that rotation quite low down in the spine. Good. And if you feel happy with the movement and you want to progress it, so your knees come over, you can extend that top leg away, then bring it back, roll through centre, over to the other side, extend that leg, bring it back, and repeat. There you go. And then let's add in neck rotating to the opposite side as well, all going on with our coordination as well. So I'm going to extend that top leg and I'm going to look over to the opposite side. Bring it back through centre, over to the other side. Still got the abdominals drawn in, they're really helping me roll through centre. Good. Let's just do two more. Last one. Well done. Lovely for the spine today. Good. Okay, so I'm going to pop my head block out to the side. We're going to do some shoulder bridge work. Bring my feet and my knees back to hip width distance apart. And remember, we need to activate through inner thigh muscles, through the glutes, into the abdominals as well, so that we strengthen and keep those hips nice and level. So the hips are going to stay level. Imagine a spirit level across them. We're going to start to activate the glutes, the abdominals, and flatten the lower back onto the floor as we come up. Good. You want that little bit of inner thigh working so that you stabilise through the knees as well. And then coming back down. Good. Lovely. I tend to close my eyes with shoulder bridge because it really helps me visualize what my spine's doing, and I want to really try and focus as much as I can on getting articulation through the spine. So instead of letting it all feel, as mine often does, that it's just sort of coming up in 2 sets and coming down in 2 sets, that I'm working all of those vertebrae, or as many of them as I can. You keep the arms nice and soft, use the glutes, pull in on the abdominals, use the thigh muscles, good. So we're nice and relaxed in the upper body, relax through the ribs, good. A few more of these. Okay. And we're just going to come up one more time into shoulder bridge. And at the top of the movement, we're going to pause and we're going to work the glutes a little bit more. So I'm going to fold at the hips, let the glutes come down towards the mat, controlling that, and then squeeze, bring them back up. Good. Still keeping that connection between ribs and hips. So we're folding at the hips and back up. Good. So breathe out, breathe in. A couple more of these. Work both glutes. Still got the inner thighs working. Well done. Last one. And back up. And then hold it here. Nice and softly start to melt that spine back down into the mat. One last time. Well done. If you want to hug your knees into the chest, just do so nice and gently. Pause it there for a moment. Let the spine just work out what's going on. And then very gently, we're just going to rock across the sacrum, across those hip bones at the back. Good. Lovely. Okay. Then we're going to take one foot down and then the other. So we're going to finish with some hundreds in this position. So my feet and my knees back out to hip width apart. In neutral spine, neutral pelvis with the shoulders down away from the ears. I'll show you 2 versions of this so that you can choose the level that you're happy with. So level 1, I'm going to stay, head block, bring it back under your head. Nearly so you can choose the level that's comfortable for you. Level 1, you stay with your head and your shoulders on the floor, on the block. And you just extend your arms so that the fingers are reaching for your heels. So you've got some rigidity through those arms. But open up through the collarbones, put that little squeeze on at the shoulder blades, drawing them towards the spine, which opens up here. Shoulders soft, down away from the ears. Lovely. And then what you do is keep that nice position, keep nice and stable through the core, and you flap the arms. Breathing in for 5 as you pulse the arms, breathing out for 5. You count yourselves to 100, you do the counting. Keep it going. So that's level 1. And you want to keep that neutral pelvis, so you shouldn't change how much pressure you're pushing into the mat with. The other option is to come up into abdo prep, so we slide the ribs down towards the hips, we lengthen the arms away. I want to imagine I've still got that orange under my chin, and we're working the abdominals that little bit harder here. Shoulders are in the same position, so I'm still open through the collarbones, down across, down through the, with the shoulders down away from the ears. We lengthen the arms away here. And we breathe in for 5, out for 5. It's the angry penguin flapping movement that we call it in my classes sometimes. Don't know where it came from, but that's the best description I could give at the time. All right, so you have to keep nice and open here. And we keep that stability through the shoulders. We work through the core. So when you're ready, you come up into the position you want or stay lying down. You choose. Keep those shoulders open, abdominals switched on. Off you go. So depending on how our filming goes, we might be counting to 100, we might not. I've done more than 100 already now all in, but we're going to keep going for a little bit. But you just want to go to 100. Well done. Relax the arms down by your side when you're done. Slowly lower. If you want to, you can just take your arms up over your head. Well done. Don't arch that lower back too much. Good. And then slowly down by your sides. Lovely. So from here we're just going to very gently roll onto our sides. Pop the block out of the way and come into an all fours position and then into kneeling. I'm going to just grab my towel for under my knees. We're going to do hip flexor stretches. So I'm going to pop it under one of my knees and take the other leg forwards. Lovely. Okay, so tuck the tailbone under, be nice and tall still, and then drive those hips forward. So we're not arching overly into the lower back, we're keeping that connection with the abdominals as well. Ribs, hips staying connected with our bungee. Good. Let the arms lengthen down by your sides, and then breathing out, take them up over your head. Drive the hips forwards that little bit more if it feels comfortable. Remember to keep the abdominals working. Good. That connection. Going to float the arms down to chest height, come into bow and arrow. So draw the elbow back, look over your shoulder, and then let's fully extend the arm. Lovely, let's bring it back to center, other elbow, take it back into bow and arrow, and then fully extend back to center and by your side. Lovely, let's change over the knees. Pop the towel into the other one, take the leg forwards. Good. So tailbone's tucked under, abdominals connected, drive the hips forwards. Good. Nice and tall. Lengthen the arms down by your side, and then when you're ready we're going to stretch and reach into full arm extension up over your head. Good. Not let the ribs lift up. Good. And then down to chest height with the arms into bow and arrow. So take one elbow back, look over your shoulder, fully extend. Back to center. Drive the other one back, fully extend. Well done. Back to center. Gently float the arms down. And then from here we're just going to slowly take the towel out. I'm going to come into a crouch position. And very slowly we're going to roll up to standing. So think about starting to change the weight so that it goes through your heels. Good, keep the knees bent, and then slowly let the hands slide up the front of the legs, rebuild that spine, keeping that chin tucked in. The head's going to be the last thing to come up and lengthen away. Lovely, well done. So let's just do a little roll down to finish with a dangle. So keep the knees nice and soft, nice breath in at the top, and let everything soften through the spine, keeping that chin tucked in, the abdominals engaged, peeling your spine off a wall. Hopefully these feel a lot better than they did at the beginning. Let everything dangle at the bottom, release the tension from the head, neck, shoulders. Good. I'm just going to walk my hands away so I get a little bit more of a stretch down the back of my legs. And then walk them back in. Keep the knees soft. Take a nice breath in at the bottom before breathing out as you draw the arms back up. Good. And open through the collarbones. Lovely. So we're just going to finish with our lovely posture. Hopefully everything feels beautifully fluid and mobile after all that. We're going to be balanced through both feet nice and evenly with our weight. We're soft through the knees and thighs. We've tucked the tailbone under, so we're neutral. Good. Then we lengthen through the spine. It was a golden helium balloon today, pulling us up from the crown of the head towards the sky with that chin tucked in. We won't tell anyone, just the beginnings of a double chin. We're going to give ourselves to lengthen through the neck. Good. Open the collarbones, nice and smiley, arms down by your sides. Lovely. Let's take a nice deep breath in with a shrug and let it go. Another deep breath in with a shrug and let it go. One more deep breath in and let it go. Give yourselves a round of applause. Fabulous session today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Take care and I'll see you soon. Move around on those feet. Let them feel glued to the mat, but find that beautiful balanced point.
Fine.
I think there's a car about to start up. abdominals. We're going to go into some little roll downs. So think about breathing out. Just bring those elbows to the chest. As I breathe out, I'm going to extend the arm in front. Breathing in, lovely. Let's go back the other way. Drawn in, shoulders down. Let's extend. Oh wow, okay. I didn't like it anyway. It's another job, isn't it? Looks so much better without it anyway. Don't think it's safe though. Okay, tell me when you're stopping.
Okay, lie down. I'm okay. Thank you for coming to check on me, but I am okay. Can I finish yet? Can I finish? I just want to finish. Yes, I'll be with you in a moment. Come here. Lie down. Lie down. Lie down. This is not helping.